So welcome back, friends. A very important inflation number has come out in India, and it has important repercussions because the Reserve Bank of India looks at these inflation numbers very closely. India's retail inflation has eased to an eight-year low of 1.55% in July, down from 2.1% in June, according to the official data released today. This is the first time since January of 2019 that retail inflation has fallen below the 2% mark. The moderation in retail inflation, extends a 6-month streak of sub 4% inflation, with the average since April holding below the 3% mark. CPI inflation was dampened by the continued year-to-year decline in food prices on an elevated basis, even as vegetable prices displayed a surprising uptick. Food inflation remained in negative territory for the second straight month, with the index recording a deeper deflation of 1.8% compared with minus 1.1% in June. The decline was largely led by lower prices of pulses, vegetables, cereals, eggs, sugar, and transport costs. The July food inflation reading is the lowest since January 2019. Vegetable prices shrank 20.7% from the previous year, while the pulses were down 14%. Meat and fish inflation also continued the negative streak for a fourth consecutive month. On the other hand, fruit inflation rose faster at 14.4% compared with 12.6% the previous month. Oils and fats inflation was up 19.2%. Rural inflation stood at 1.18% in July and down from 1.72% in June, while the urban inflation eased to 2.05% from 2.56% in the same period. Miscellaneous inflation remained a high 5% compared with a 5.5% in June, with a personal care and effects recording a 15% rise in prices on the back of rising gold and silver prices. At its most recent policy meeting, the Reserve Bank of India cut its full-year inflation forecast to 3.1% from 3.7% earlier. The central bank now expects inflation to average 2.1% in the second quarter, rise to 3.1% in the third, and end the fiscal year at 4.4% in the fourth quarter. ICRA expects the CPI's food and beverage print to revert to an inflation in August 2025 from deflation of 0.8% in July 2025. Consequently, I repeat this, please read this statement carefully. ICRA expects the CPI's food and beverage print to revert to an inflation in August 2025 from a deflation of 0.8% in July 2025. Consequently, the headline CPI inflation is likely to inch up to 2% in August 2025 from 1.55% in July 2025, with an average CPI inflation of 3.0 to 3.2% in financial year 25-26. So not only this, but the tariffs which have been imposed by President Trump, that can impact the prices of imported goods. And all in all, this all may lead to a scenario where inflation may start gearing its head up once again in the near future. And once that happens, then the Reserve Bank would be once again loath to reduce interest rates. So all this can have an impact on interest rates, and therefore stock markets don't like higher interest rates. They flourish in an environment of lower interest rates. This is as and when the inflation starts reflecting in the prices, and then the calculations and the data shows it. But I believe that this can be something which cannot be ignored. At this point of time, the retail inflation, the CPI numbers look fantastic. And yes, the markets should handsomely reward. To get to know where we are headed on a short, medium and long-term basis, do join our Premium Plus, which gives you 10 to 12 days predictions of the market and also some good multi-baggers. You can WhatsApp us on 9820861044. Namaste, Jai Hind, and wish you all a very happy Ganesh Angar Ki Chaturthi. Today is a fantastic day, and do some good service. And it's a day of intense fasting for many people, particularly in the state of Maharashtra. If you know somebody who has fasting, food is difficult to get, as you know, right? It's more difficult to make than the regular food, because there are some ingredients which you can use and most you cannot. There are very few things which you can use in fasting food. So if you are able to make something and give it to somebody who doesn't have enough of it, who may have lost a parent or a sibling and is struggling, or a spouse or is struggling in life, to get some, it's a great way. Most people do fast in the state of Maharashtra. So do I. I'm sure you are enjoying the benefits, spiritual benefits of worshipping, but do help somebody in need. And God bless you all, and may Lord Ganesha's blessings be with us all, and let us lead a life of integrity, honesty and service to humanity. Take care. Bye-bye.